What are you talking? What are you talking about? Shut up. Let me finish. You are the one person that I thought I trusted. Listen to me. No, I don't want to listen to you. The fact that you're using me just like everyone else because I forgot to tell you something. You're leaving? Are you kidding me? She's betrayed. Are you serious? That confrontation captured exactly what fans were sensing but couldn't put into words. Kim Kardashian has officially distanced herself from her once inseparable best friend, Jonathan Cheban, and the fallout is as messy as you'd expect. The man who branded himself as food god, who bragged about flying private and dining with celebrities, has found himself on the outside looking in. His arrogance, obsession with status, and inability to read the room finally caught up with him. But to understand how this friendship unraveled so dramatically, you have to rewind to where it all began. Jonathan wasn't always food god. He was born in 1974 into a wealthy New York family, surrounded by status and privilege from day one. In the late 90s and early 2000s, he worked in PR, chasing clients and inserting himself into celebrity circles. He bragged about knowing Paris and Nikki Hilton since childhood, and it was through Paris that he eventually met Kim. Back then, Kim was still orbiting the Hilton world, slowly building her own fame. Jonathan saw the wave coming before most people did. By the time Keeping Up with the Kardashians became a phenomenon, Jonathan had positioned himself perfectly. Always by Kim's side, always visible, the witty friend with a face full of fillers and a hunger for relevance. His climb into public consciousness wasn't subtle. In December 2013, he even appeared on Millionaire Matchmaker, pitching himself as Kim Kardashian's best friend. Sitting in his $3.5 million apartment, he bragged, "My net worth is probably, well, let's say the apartment I'm sitting in here is about $3.5 million. So a couple million, I would say $5 million. I have a Bentley. I have an apartment in Florida. I don't like to fly commercial too much. Let's put it that way. I obviously travel in very high circles, not just money-wise, but my celebrity friends, Kim Kardashian, obviously my best friend. I definitely live a different lifestyle than other people. Just so you know, I don't cook. I'll show you my refrigerator. 2 vitamins and that's it. There's nothing in this refrigerator ever." He wasn't shy about his obsession with Kim either. "My celebrity crush is Kim, actually. No, I love her butt. It's kind of amazing. And because of her, now I've changed the kind of girls that I like. They definitely need to be a little more curvy. I used to like models, and now actually I can't even look at models, to be honest. I just think they're so plain and they're just so stick figure. I need somebody that can kind of roll with the punches, and that's why I don't have permanent girlfriends, because you know what? I'm talking to you now, and I literally decide tonight to go to Miami for a week, and I don't even want to have to explain it to anybody." It was both absurd and revealing. Jonathan's entire identity revolved around proximity to fame. He started calling himself Food God, demanding people use the name seriously, as if his Instagram feed of extravagant meals gave him some divine status. For years, he hovered in Kim's orbit, appearing on episodes of kuwtk, accompanying her to events, offering comic relief while subtly making it all about himself. He wasn't the star, but he played his role well enough to stay close. But cracks were already forming. His fixation on beauty standards and his arrogance online made him a polarizing figure. He constantly mocked women's appearances, dismissing models as stick figures, while chasing women who resembled Kim. Fans began to notice the discomforting undertone. The food god persona that once seemed cheeky started to feel cringe, almost desperate. And behind the scenes, his behavior was getting harder to ignore. Screenshots began surfacing over the years, Jonathan allegedly sending messages dripping with arrogance, telling people, "I got more money than you could dream of, more companies than you can count. I could have you cleaning toilets." He called strangers trailer park trash, peasants, and low lifes. It wasn't witty banter. It was cruelty masked as confidence. Meanwhile, the Kardashian world was shifting. Kim's inner circle was tightening, and outside influences were being scrutinized more than ever. Enter Larsa Pippen. Once part of the glamorous trio with Kim and Jonathan, Larsa had her own dramatic fallout with the Kardashians. In April 2020, Kim and her sisters unfollowed Larsa on Instagram, sparking rumors. A few months later, Larsa claimed on Hollywood Unlocked that Kanye West had turned Kim against her. If Kanye feels like him and Kim are better without me, then let them be without me. I'm okay with that. I will survive. It sounded dignified, but behind the scenes, the fracture was real. Kanye allegedly told Kim that Larsa was beneath her, leading to a quiet but decisive exile. Jonathan, however, remained close to Larsa, and that didn't sit well with Kim. Their connection started to look suspiciously entangled. When Kim made her unfollowing move, it wasn't just Larsa. Jonathan was slowly phased out too. Fans didn't pick up on it immediately, but the signs were there. The man who once seemed inseparable from Kim began to appear less and less by her side. By 2021, Larsa was publicly smoothing things over, telling Jason Lee she and Kim had patched things up, claiming they'd apologized and were living their best lives, but whispers said otherwise. Sources claimed the family didn't trust her anymore after catching her talking behind their backs. And if Kim didn't trust Larsa, being tied to her wasn't a good look for Jonathan either. Fast forward to December 2023. Kim and Jonathan were last seen together at the grand opening of the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas. That was their final public appearance side by side. After that, silence. No red carpets, no reality show cameos, not even casual paparazzi shots. Fans started noticing. A TikToker posted a theory video in 2024, pointing out how distant the two had become. Jonathan, for his part, tried to downplay it. He claimed they still text here and there, but admitted they never talk about her dating life, business, or anything close. It sounded hollow, more like two acquaintances keeping up appearances than best friends sharing their lives. And then there was the birthday post. Kim shared a polite Instagram story wishing Jonathan a happy belated birthday. He reposted it. Fans dissected it like a forensic scene. No warmth, no inside jokes, just obligatory gestures. People began calling him Kim's backup friend, someone she'd keep around for appearances, but not trust with anything real. Option C or D, never A-list. And in Kim's world, once you're not essential, you're expendable. But the internet doesn't forget. Fans on Reddit resurfaced old episodes commenting, "They don't seem that close anymore." Every other episode used to be about Kim's best friend, Jonathan. Sometimes he was funny, but honestly, I never understood why he was on so much. Even Simon Huck, another longtime Kardashian friend, hinted at Jonathan's true intentions on the Skinny Confidential podcast. He said Jonathan was huge in PR back in the day, but always had his eyes set on fame. That hunger eventually birthed the food god persona, which, let's be honest, has aged like milk. What once seemed cheeky now feels like a caricature. Then came the receipts. Screenshots and tweets showed Jonathan lashing out at strangers online. "Get a life, you ugly, pathetic-looking piece of trash. You're the spit I walk on," he wrote to one critic. In another, he called someone a peasant and bragged about owning 7 companies. He offered to make people his janitor. He even went after regular women on Instagram, criticizing their looks unprompted. On Kim's birthday, he jumped into someone's comments, writing things like, "Of course you wear glasses. Everything's a mess. Get some lips. Worst-looking vegan alive. If that's vegan, give me beef." He mocked their lips, chin, wrinkles, and weight, like a self-appointed beauty judge. The hypocrisy was brutal, coming from a man whose own appearance had been ridiculed online for being overfilled and artificial. The internet clapped back, roasting him mercilessly. And while this was playing out publicly, Jonathan's career moves were only making things worse. His attempts to build fame outside Kim's orbit flopped. One TV project he filmed in 2013, produced by Kim herself, failed so badly she scrubbed her name from it. His big break came in 2016 with Celebrity Big Brother, but even that was tied to his Kardashian fame. Inside the house, he clashed with Angie Bowie and Tiffany Pollard. When David Bowie passed away, the house was in mourning. Jonathan made the moment about himself, complaining the atmosphere was unbearable, and then walked out early. It came off tone-deaf and self-absorbed. Then there was the dating show appearance. For years, audiences assumed Jonathan was Kim's flamboyant gay best friend. Husbands never seemed threatened, and he played into that role. But on the show, he suddenly presented himself as a straight bachelor. Viewers were confused, even unsettled. It felt performative and calculated, like he was trying to script a new identity to stay relevant. Add this to his outbursts online, and it became clear. Jonathan wasn't evolving, he was flailing. As Kim's empire grew more polished and strategic, Jonathan's antics became liabilities. She didn't make a dramatic public announcement. There was no explosive fight splashed across tabloids. Instead, the distance grew quietly, methodically. Unfollows, silence, reduced appearances. He faded out of Scott Disick's circle too, which only underscored the shift. The man who once strutted into rooms proclaiming himself food god now found himself on the outside, and the silence said more than any statement ever could. But one question lingers in fans' minds. Is this truly the end of Kim and Jonathan, or just a quiet pause? Every so often, she'll post something polite. He'll repost. They'll nod to each other on social media. But the warmth is gone. Their friendship once looked like inseparability. Now it feels transactional if it exists at all. Some speculate NDAS might be the only thing keeping him quiet. After all, he was around in the early days, and if he ever wrote a tell-all, he could cause chaos. Others think Kim simply outgrew him. Her life changed. 4 kids, businesses, law school, a transformed public image. Jonathan stayed the same. And in the Kardashian world, not evolving means fading out. The story of Kim and Jonathan isn't just gossip. It's a cautionary tale about proximity to power. Jonathan built his identity around being someone's best friend, not around who he was. He mistook proximity for permanence. For years, it worked, until it didn't. Fame-adjacent friends can orbit the sun for a long time, but eventually, the star decides who stays in the light and who drifts into shadow. Jonathan's arrogance, obsession, and inability to adapt sealed his fate. So now, the man who once declared himself food god finds himself in a very different position, a footnote in someone else's empire. Kim hasn't slammed the door shut publicly, but she doesn't need to. The distance speaks for itself. The final image isn't a screaming match or a dramatic betrayal, it's silence. 2 people who once seemed inseparable now move in different orbits, and the world can tell. But what do you think? Is this the permanent end of one of reality TV's most visible friendships, or could they find their way back to each other eventually? Has Jonathan burned too many bridges, or is there still a spot for him in Kim's world? Drop your thoughts below, hit like if you found this breakdown wild, and subscribe for more celebrity drama that goes deeper than the headlines.